What's up? My name is Grayson. This is Will, and welcome to Between the Zones. We're two 19-year-olds that work in sports. We like talking about sports. We're just gonna have a good time and kind of chat, answer some big questions here, and have
Oh
a good
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time. You said it twice. That's how much fun we're gonna have
That's
here.
that's how many good times we're gonna have. Two good times for two great people right here.
Exactly.
Um, what's up, Will? How's it going?
Dude, it's going, honestly, it's going.
All right,
Can you see the same?
I can I can mostly say the same. I think it is
Mm-hmm.
going. Things are rolling. Life is living. Um,
Mm.
I think something we gotta address right off the bat is
The
my setup looks
hiatus.
a lot better than Will's.
Oh, oh yeah.
Um,
Whoa,
yeah, that's
hold
it.
on. I was gonna go move on to more pressing matters, like saying how we've been gone for a while, but you wanna comment on my little soundproofing setup? Hold on.
Yeah,
You just
I
haven't even seen anything yet, Mr. Counts.
see, but I
It's
have
got
in the
it's
past.
got
It does look
lights.
nice. It does
It's
look
got
nice with the lights.
lights.
The
But
lights,
the lights
and
keep
it's
blinking whenever I start to
click the
walk.
button. Click the bottom
I
piece.
click I click the bottom piece though, and it just like blinks more. I think it's because it's connected
Keep.
to your phone.
Oh, it's connected to my phone. Okay,
Yeah, so
set.
like
We're gonna use it as a
oh
segue. Yeah. So the lights. Will and I used to run a podcast called Between the Zones. Is what this is on, and we have been gone for quite a while.
this
It's just life has been living like we were saying earlier, and it's been kind of hard to stay on top of things. We got busy dealing with college. Our first year of college is in the books. Congratulations, Will. Great job. Good job on a good year.
oh likewise,
Um,
likewise.
Much appreciated. So our first year of college is in the books. We've been working a lot and just working on our careers, which takes us to the next point that I think everybody needs to know if they're gonna stick around for the podcast. It might be the reason you're here. Is we work in sports. We're two 19-year-olds. Will and I currently live a little over 2,000 miles apart.
Yeah.
Um, that's the that's the big thing here. So, Will, you want to go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself?
All right, my name's Will, and I work for the Salem Red Sox. Yeah, so um basically me and Grayson been together all of our lives, right? And this guy gets an opportunity of a lifetime. And now we got this East Coast, West Coast dynamic going on.
That's
And
true.
I'm kind of here for it because
Yeah,
you're out there like obviously we're gonna get to it anyway. You work for the Arizona Cardinals,
I do.
and I'm working for our low A baseball affiliate with the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox, the Salem Red
Salem
Sox.
Red Sox.
And if you guys have been a long time viewer or follow Grayson on TikTok, shameless plug, you may know. I mean, we've talked about this all the time. It's just something like we're using. I'm personally, and Grayson has used the Red Sox as a stepping stone to where we want to be in sports. And I think that's what we want to work our way around talking about that a lot. Not in just this episode, just like doing more episodes talking about because we are in a spot that a lot of people are actually in the same spot as us. And
Yeah,
we're all trying to get to this level. We're all trying to reach our potential, so to speak.
yeah.
Grayson
Well said.
is debatably he's farther along the path right now, but the fact is I'm on the path.
You are,
And there
and
is a
that's
path,
that's the important
you
thing,
know?
and that's like the big thing about this podcast. Not to steal it from you a little bit,
Mm,
but
mm,
uh, it's it's a big thing right now. The sports industry is always growing, right? And I know that Will and I have gone to school together. We've worked on projects together. We've run this podcast together since freshman, sophomore year of high school. Um, and it clicked. It kind of clicked during those years, those first 2 years of high school, that we
oh
wanted to
yeah.
work in sports. We wanted to work in sports media. It could have been like editing and producing videos for teams. It could be um, agency. It could be really anything. You could want to go into coaching, but we just knew we wanted to be in sports media. Um, and we found out pretty fast that there's not a lot on that, or at least it wasn't easy for us to find information. So we spent a lot of time reaching out to athletes, reaching out to people who were in positions we wanted to be in. And just trying to accrue as much information as possible.
Oh yeah.
And now we are just kind of here to talk, entertain some people, but also share the path that we're taking and kind of help guide other people on the same path. We've gotten lucky. We've made it far. Like Will said, I work with the Arizona Cardinals, which is
Oh, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna
yeah,
dive into that.
it's a big honor at 19 years old, but like it's not unattainable for anybody at all. It's the whole reason I'm here, and it's not that there's a skill gap between Will and I. He might have said that I'm further along, and maybe like in the aspect of the path, but at the end of the day, it's small steps that anybody can do. We can all make it there without a doubt. So yeah,
Well
just
said, Mr. Counts.
talk
Well
about.
said. Yes. And everyone has a path, and sometimes people's
They're all
paths
different.
they're different. Yeah. So we may say something, and you're like, oh, I mean, I can't do this, or I'm not a part of this or this. But the bottom line is, you can actually do something. Like wherever you go, there's gonna be something related. I'm speaking for our like field specifically. There's gonna be something that could be related to where you want to work, to what you want to do.
Yeah.
So for us, I mean, that was our big thing, was just, okay, there's a low A baseball team, and they have a production team as well. And also with the hockey team, they have a production crew, and we're gonna get ourselves involved in that. But also there's a radio station in town. And I mean, and there's another layer to that, is that even if you don't have all of those things, I found a friend that really likes sports. And what do? We created a podcast. So at least we're doing something.
Yeah. Yeah. The big thing that I've like pushed anytime I try to talk to some people, and what I really picked up, I feel like we picked up talking to people that have been very successful in this field, is if you want to do it and you want to do it young, you can't waste your time, right? Time is a super overly valuable resource, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's impossible to value someone's time. So you can't waste time, you can't waste your work. And not to say that like not everybody can afford to drive a long distance to work for a minor league team or whatever the circumstances may be. Maybe the team pays less than what a job at like Kroger. I know Kroger baggers or whatever your grocery store is, they get paid decent. Starbucks pays well. For teens, that's pretty important to get those first couple of paychecks to really understand money. And I know a lot of people are like have their own expenses they have to pay for even at a young
Oh, yeah.
age. So like with that, you can't afford some of the luxuries of like taking a job that pays less. But if you can, if that's not an inhibitor, you can't waste your time. And the ways to not waste your time are use that time you would be working for a Kroger, for a Starbucks, for a McDonald's, and work in something that's going to benefit you in the future. Not that the personal skills you learn at McDonald's won't help you, but just imagine if you could literally practice a smaller scale version of exactly what you want to do for an extra 3 or 4 years at the beginning. You're
Oh,
going to
it's
be so
killer.
much
That
further
would
ahead
you're gonna have you're gonna develop so many skills too.
without a
Other people, I
doubt.
mean, if you love what you do and you develop those skills, I mean, everyone's gonna want you. All right, we're back. Sorry guys about the technical difficulty. That Grayson had to just mess everything up.
Yeah, it's always me. I'm the one messing things up.
Such a
No,
burden.
I know, right? Did like why even continue the podcast at this point? No, but so I think like a lot of people that are going to find our page, find the things we talk about interesting, are gonna know, you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, you can go into your
Maybe,
early
yeah,
20s. Not gonna keep
maybe older.
counting. I would like to prove I can't count. Did pass kindergarten. Can make it to 100 at least. But
200, that's a struggle though,
it
right?
gets rough, especially around 170. Not sure, but yeah, I think the big thing that people watching our videos are going to want to hear is like, how should you get started? It's really easy to like conceptualize and visualize these goals you want to achieve. You want to work in the NFL, NHL. You want to make videos. You want to be a sideline photographer. All that stuff is super cool. Where do you get started?
Oh, and I feel like that's the most challenging part of it, is that people
Yeah,
get scared because they're like, dude,
it
the
is. It's
NFL, the
intimidating.
NBA, like how do I get there?
Yeah,
You know,
it's but like
it's scary.
I don't know. It's it's a little easier than professional athletes. Not to like bash what
Yeah.
we do, but like
Yeah.
don't feel like making it to the NFL is as hard as making it as an NFL player. You can do it. There's a path. That's why we're here.
Mhm.
But yeah, big thing. Number one, if we want to just kind of kick off, give a few tips here at the beginning of what people should do. Give them their whole reason they're here. I would say thing number one, find people that are doing the job that you want to do and reach out to them. Connect completely. Connections are everything. And you can't just like reach out to these people asking for a ton of stuff. Again, time is valuable. Like
Yeah.
they value their own time. So keep it short, keep it quick. Give them a reason like that they would want to talk to you. Our big reason was just that we are
We're
young
curious.
people. Yeah, we're curious, and
we wanna
there are
know what's
people
going
out
on.
there that want to help young people that are
Oh, yeah.
curious. That is a resource there. Don't undersell yourself. But yeah, so reach out to people that are in your position. If it's I know for us, we reached out to like NFL agents. Greer Love, who was the agent for Mo Bamba. He was a super fun talk, along with Bernie Lee, the NBA agent for Jimmy Butler. Two great guys to talk to. They gave us
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of advice. Those interviews are up on the channel if you want to check
Oh,
those
yeah,
out. Gonna
shameless
plug
plug.
those real quick.
And I do want to add that like when we were thinking about interviewing them, I mean, look, I'm just gonna say it, like when we see Mo Bamba's agent, we're like, oh, agent, then Mo Bamba. You know what I'm saying? But then you kind of like look back at it, or I look back at it, and I'm like, dude, this guy like we interviewed, he's such a genuine, like nice guy. So
Yeah.
these people, they have stories and you can learn from them. I think that's the biggest thing. It's just
Yeah.
learning from everyone.
Hearing like the way other people live their lives is super important. Everybody makes mistakes in their life. I think it's inevitable. That's how you learn. And so if you can reach more people, talk to more people, learn from more people, you learn their mistakes they made, and it helps you avoid it in the future. And the fewer mistakes you can make, the further you're going to make it faster. And yeah, like there's a good chance everybody ends up in the same place as long as you work hard. But we like to make it fast, right?
Oh yeah.
Why not make it fast?
Why not?
Exactly. So yeah, reach out to other people that are in positions you are. Reach out to those agents. Reach out to those scouts, those coaches. They'll find time. And you can't just reach out to one or two. Will and I would reach out to 20, 30 a day some days.
Yeah, we would make it like a priority. We would sit. We would come over. He would come over to my basement, mind you,
Yep.
20 minutes away from his house, and we would just sit
Exactly.
around on our laptops and look up agencies, and then look up a contact email. Some of them didn't even have a contact email. We'd just move on to the next one, and then
Yep.
we'd hit them with the email, like, you know, there's our spiel, and then I mean, eventually people just start answering. You know.
Yeah. I would say that in the time that we sent out emails, we emailed 2,000 plus people.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And I'd feel very safe about that. And in the end, we probably got 20, 30, 40
Yeah.
responses, right? Like it's not a great percentage. So don't get distraught. Don't get disheartened when people aren't responding. They're not going to. LeBron James will probably not respond to you.
Unfortunately,
okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably
we're gonna
not.
keep trying. We'll shoot LeBron an email.
We will keep trying. I mean, I haven't been Instagram DMing him every morning when I wake up, but
yeah,
you know.
See, that's actually podcast episode number 32 is LeBron on the podcast.
That's how we get there.
Look out.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I want to. Sorry, I'm going
No, good.
backwards.
Yeah.
This is like, I want to consider this episode. If you allow me, this is like episode 1. This is our startup.
Sounds good.
And if you want to follow along, this is the checkpoint, the starting point. And then, I mean, we'll see how many podcasts we release a week. I mean, we're aiming to film at least once a week and then release. So
Yeah.
who knows how many episodes we get to? You know, because we could talk about craft for hours.
Yeah, it definitely helps though if you guys are enjoying the content to like, to follow, to subscribe, whatever. If you're listening on Spotify, it'd mean a lot if you would just give us a listen all the way through. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, it'd mean a lot if you could hit us with a subscribe, a like, comment any questions you want us to answer in the future.
Yes.
If you have the opportunity, check out either of our Instagrams. I know we do a lot of content on there where you can reach out to us there, DM us. We will make sure it's in the description on whatever you're listening on.
Yeah.
And that's the best place to find people. That's how we reached out to almost everybody, was on Instagram. Email's great, but Instagram is better for these athletes, these young people. That's what they use. And
That's what they're
it's
doing.
that's what we use.
Hmm.
We are young people, and we assume we assume most
We're getting up
everybody
there.
listening
We're
will be
getting up
too.
there in age, though.
I know, right? Turning 20 in like a few months.
That
Pretty
dude.
crazy.
Side note, that's crazy. That is like
2-0, man.
I didn't even like really 19. Just like I feel like it's a weird age. Like you're between
Yeah.
18 and 20. It's 19, but 20 years old. That
Yeah.
is insane.
20's in the block. So Will, you just turned 19. What'd you do
Yeah.
for your birthday? Let's walk us through it. What was the 19th birthday celebration of William Howell's life?
Okay. Well, first off, I got up at 5:30 in the morning. I
Rough.
went to my job. I work at a golf course, so I do grounds crew. So we have to wake up early to do everything before the old men play on the course.
Yeah.
And so my boss was kind enough to let me go after I finished mowing. And I
Nice.
came home and I just sat around for like a couple hours with my girlfriend. And then we went to this is like so out of character for my family. We did a family trip to Rosie's. It's a gambling place near our house. And
Yeah.
I mean I just want to experience it because they're about to change the legal gambling age limit is like 21. Right now it's
Yeah.
18.
Yep.
And so in a couple, I think July 1st is when they're changing it.
That's
So I
crazy.
mean, I wanted to experience the slot machines.
Yeah, I think in the 5 years we spent time together, where I was basically at your house every other day, the only time I heard about Rosie's was your dad raving about like work friends that went to Rosie's, and then your mom
Yes.
just hating him for it, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Because he
which
has
is
a
pretty
friend who
amusing.
he just goes there and gambles, which, you know, I gambling, I've found out is not the option.
No, we're not condoning gambling here. Although
Please.
I am excited to hit 21 for the legal age of sports betting.
And
Um,
that's different. I feel like sports betting
I
is
will say
something
I'll
that
put some bets down.
if you're educated, you could probably do pretty good at that.
Yeah,
Gambling's different. It's
yeah.
all chance.
But yeah, so Rosie's, a trip to the casino, a good time for William Howell on the
Yes, and I
19th birthday.
actually so me and my sister entered the birthday drawing. So I mean, we heard about it. They were talking about it. They were like, "We're gonna draw 3 people and they'll win $100 cash." Why? So why
All
not
right.
do it?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
out of apparently 30 people entered, so including me, my sister. Um, the guy called some random name, and I was like, "Oh, I'm probably not gonna win." And then he calls my name, and he's like
Sweet.
he struggles to pronounce it too. He's like, William Hall," and I was like, "Dude."
Ha. Howell. Ha.
How? And then he looks down. He's like, Hannah Hall. Wait, what's going on here? He's like, what's going? Are y'all? Do y'all know each other? And we just explained we're twins, but we both won hundred
That's funny,
dollars.
man. Nice, man. I mean, at least it works out to where like not one of you won and the other didn't. It gets real
Yeah, I know.
awkward on like,
Yeah, it does.
yo, you got born 15 minutes before me and now you get $100. It's like, nah, man, y'all cool.
You guys
You're
go.
living life well.
Yes, that was a surprise, and it happened, and I was excited. And then we came home and ate cake and ice cream, and I went to sleep and got up at 5:30 again the next day. So it's all a cycle.
What's the best? What cake did you have?
It was like
Flavor?
a strawberry cake. It's yeah. My mom was trying something different. She was like, "You want strawberry cake?" I was like, "It's cake. I'm gonna eat it. Whatever you get."
Will eats cake. That's what he cares about.
Yeah, but she got this. This is such a tangent we're going on, but I'm here for it because she got this waffle. This sounds weird. Waffle cone ice cream. It's got chunks of waffle cone inside.
Yeah, I'm not there for that.
It was so good. You have to try it. So good.
Dang.
It's
Is it like
weird. It's a,
chocolate with just like
okay.
waffle chunks?
There, yeah. There's like it's vanilla with like chocolate chips, and I've like chocolate chunks maybe, but it's
Yeah.
also just got these random like waffle cone pieces in it, and they're not big. They're like you can't really distinguish if they're like chocolate or waffle cone.
Got it.
Kind of just like
That
squeeze it in
sounds
your mouth,
nice.
and you're like, it's. I was there for that. I had a couple of bowls after too.
Nice, man.
But yeah, that was the highlight of the day, probably the waffle cone ice cream. and
The
winning
waffle cone ice
$100.
cream. All right, so we'll keep that in mind. If you're turning 19 years old, test out waffle cone ice cream. Definitely the way to go.
I mean, you heard it here first.
Yep. That is a self-acclaimed official Between the Zones take now. We own all waffle cone ice cream takes. All right,
Slap
let's
between
keep
the
it moving
zones on it.
here. Let's get a little back into sports for just a second. You talked about your job. You work for a golf course, but I know that you have another job. Not many people know exactly what you do with your other job. Could you walk us through what your other job is, Will?
Yes. So obviously after I go to the golf course, I usually do like 8-hour shifts, so I'm off by like 2. And I work for the Salem Red Sox. As we said before, it's the stepping
Yep.
zone. And I mean, I'm just trying to do all I can with what I got right here. I mean, I feel like I'm doing the most. you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I can always be doing better. I could go for the radio station, I guess, but I'm focusing on what I want to do. And that involves sports, and I'm with the Red Sox. So what I'm doing at the Red Sox, and more specific, being more specific, I'm directing games. So basically, every camera shot I get, and I have to direct the stream. MILB has this TV has a stream they put out to viewers, and you know how, Grayson, we always joked about like, yo, I wonder if the 2 viewers on the stream got that insane fly pop out or something, insane home run. I was talking
Yeah.
to Steven. I was talking to our boss. We average 300 viewers per stream, bro.
Wow, man. That's
That is
pretty crazy.
like that is crazy to me.
It's not
300
a number I expected.
300 people are taking time out of their day to watch Salem Red Sox baseball. And
Yeah.
if
And
you hear
to
about
be
this and
clear,
you want to join in, yeah, go
nah,
ahead.
yeah. I was just gonna say, to be clear, the Salem Red Sox are not like one step below Boston.
Nah.
They are a low A baseball team, which means you have Major League Boston Red Sox. You got Triple A baseball, which is the Portland Sea Dogs. Right?
Yes. Or
Uh,
no, it's the Woo Sox, I
no,
think.
yeah, it's the Woo Sox. So
And
it's
then
like
it's the Portland, I think, and then
yeah,
it's Greenville.
yeah. So it's
Or do,
Triple
yeah,
A,
do the
Double
ways
A,
thing.
Single A, and then Low A, which is
Yeah, so
below Single A baseball,
there's a
which is
tier under.
basically rookie league. So all of the
Mhm.
rookies get sent to Boston or to Salem, and we are a small, not very populated area where the
Mhm.
old people love baseball. They will
Oh yeah.
die for it because we've had a team there for so long.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so it's pretty impressive that we that we get 300 people on the stream
Yeah.
because it's not a free stream either.
It's
You got to
not
pay for
free.
that. Like
See, like,
it's absurdly expensive to get the access to the minor league baseball streams for the full year.
yeah, it's like 10 or $20 a month. That's like another Netflix streaming service, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna pay that to watch MILB. But
Yeah.
anyway, I was kind of shocked to figure out that many people are watching, and it makes me feel kind of better because we've been doing a good job this year. We have, I didn't tell you this, but we have center field camera now. See, there's
Nice.
another thing about when you guys, if you try to work for low A, I mean, you got to work what you got. We had for a while just 2 cameras and a wireless cam for promos. So it's kind of tough, but we make do. But now, I mean, we have center field, we have a base cam, and we have a high home cam. They film the
Nice.
game. It's up to me to tell them what to do at every second. Like, you're live. I
Yeah.
mean, it's now I since my bosses have told me, I'm more of like, ready camera 1, take camera 1. Ready camera 2, take camera 2. And that's all I say, basically. But for me, what I like about what this position at the job the most is that I feel like there's a lot of creative freedom in what kind of shots you can tell people to get. And now that we have a center field camera, there's more freedom, even more for this camera to do more stuff and this camera to do more stuff. But I think it makes it more professional with the center field. And I also think that if you're trying to do something like this, like work for a low A team, do something you like and tell your boss that, hey, I have an interest in this, or like,
Yeah.
I want to work audio or replay. It's and they'll help you through it. I wasn't the best director, but from last year, I mean, I've learned so much,
Yeah.
and I'm doing what I can.
Yeah. I remember working last year and like if you get the opportunity to work with these small low league teams, if you're working hockey, if you're working baseball, if you're working basketball, JUCO college games, or whatever you're doing, right? You get the opportunity for any of that. The big thing you got to do is like Will was saying, really push to like work what you want to work. So last year, I worked last season with Will at the Salem Red Sox, and I just knew that like I didn't have a preference on working graphics, audio, replay, or technical directing, which is what Will does. I
Mhm.
just knew that I wanted to have the opportunity to do as much as I could. I wanted to learn as much as I could. And in the end, that really paid off for me. That's what put me in the position I am now. Um, but I knew I wanted to stay mostly in the control room and not work cameras. So I just made it really vocally apparent to our bosses that like I was willing to be there for whatever they needed. Availability is one of the most like valuable things, most important things you can have.
Oh yeah.
Um, and versatility. Those are the illities, the top illities in my opinion.
Hmm.
I mean, we could probably break down all of the illities in the world and find some other ones, but versatility and availability, uh, if you can be the person that whenever anybody calls out, whenever anybody's missing in a position, they can call you and be like, hey, I need you to fill. That's so important because
It's
then you're on
huge.
everybody's minds.
Oh yeah.
And so I just know with me, we had outside of the games, we had other things they needed. They needed someone to come in early and help set things up on the graphic computer. They needed, we had press days, we had like press conference, and like media days where they had to get the headshots of all the new players because in those minor
Hmm.
league teams they come in and out like nothing. Every week you're getting three new guys, losing a guy or two too. They're getting
Yeah.
cut or they're moving up. Um, so I just made it very clear to my bosses that like, hey, if you need help, I'm willing. I want to come in and work early. I want to work these press days. I want to get the opportunity to learn all of this, and eventually they will pick up that like you're exhausting yourself. You don't have to be exhausted, right? But you are making an effort outside of the bare minimum to show that you have interest and work ethic in the field. And it's super easy with those low level teams to do that because the work, truthfully, is not that difficult.
No,
What
not
we
really.
did are skills you can learn in a few weeks, right? And
Even
I
less than
mean, it
that,
does
maybe
not,
debatably.
yeah, yeah. It if you have the right people teaching you, it is not hard to learn the skills that you need.
Hmm.
And there are so many opportunities because truthfully, most of those teams are going to be short staffed, and like undermanned in almost every position. There's going to be so many opportunities for you to work that you can find something, and maybe not just in your field. If you want to work in marketing and social media, you might have to help out broadcasting and creative. If you want to work in broadcasting and creative, you might have to help out the sales department, right? But you just have to show a willingness
Initiative.
to push yourself, an initiative
Yeah.
to work hard.
Hmm. I couldn't have
Yeah.
said it any better. Like honestly, I think the big thing is that also it just comes back to, like you said, if you want to work in social media or like marketing or relations, maybe you do have to work for broadcast for a while, but then you start to make those connections. I mean, they see that you're reliable, then you can start to like branch out a little bit, you know?
Well,
And I mean,
there's the key word, connections, man. That's the big one.
yes, it's
We
the
need a
it's so,
bell.
so big.
We
Connection
need a
bell.
bell
Boom, boom,
here.
boom,
We'll
boom,
just
boom.
start ringing it, the connection bell, and that's it. Um,
I mean, even I
yeah.
don't want to go on this tangent for a while, but even if you're like a little introverted, I know it's hard, like in our field, it's like you're the biggest thing you're doing is communicating. But I feel like you can just these people have these same interests in you, and you shouldn't be scared of them. They're people like to talk about themselves, so maybe just start to ask like, "Hey, how long have you been doing this?" Or "Hey, well, what do I do with this or this?" And then you start to build these relations. You know, I feel like people like bosses, they see that, hey, Will's taking initiative here. You know, maybe I can give him more responsibility, right? Or
Yep.
maybe I can recommend him for this internship or whatnot. And we'll talk about it in a podcast, maybe the next podcast. Grayson's go getter attitude and initiative led him to get this job. And I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to go for too long because we're running out of meeting time and my computer's about to die. I just wanted to sneak that in there, but I feel like just to taking initiative, even if it's scary, because Lord knows it's kind of scary. I mean, I know you're
Yes.
maybe both of us are a little introverted. I'd say you're probably a little more extroverted, but if you talk a little bit more, I mean, people like to hear, and if you ask them questions, they like to talk.
Yeah. It's it's not hard to, I mean, it can be. I'm not trying to minimize however you feel, right? But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, if you want to be successful, I know with the minor league teams, every week we had a different team coming into our facility, which meant we had a different broadcaster from the other team coming in the facility, a
Yes.
new person to talk to. I still have business cards, pieces of paper where they wrote down their emails and a few things for me. I still have so many of those in my wallet because every time a new person came in, all I did was when they were just hanging out in the room or before one of the games, walked up, "Hey, my name is Grayson. I'm really interested to get into sports and I want to be in a position similar to you. Could you do you mind if I ask like how you got started? Like where your first job was, what you were doing when you were my age?" That is such a big trigger thing for
People
people.
love that.
They do because like those people that are successful are going to most likely feel good about where they are and they're going to be happy to talk to you. And they're also going to appreciate that someone noticed that they're in a position of like high responsibility, high power, that something that impressed someone enough to ask a question. So yeah, if you have the ability, you gotta ask those questions. You gotta reach out, gotta find those people.
Hmm. You gotta and you also just gotta make do with what you have. Like
Yeah,
I said, we've repeated a million times. There may not be much in our area or little town, but I mean, we both have made do, and look where you are right now.
yeah,
Okay,
without a doubt.
that was a lot. I
It
mean,
was
we could have gone for more, honestly,
without a
maybe.
doubt.
So the Zoom's about to end. I feel like we can wind down, maybe talk about a few things. One
Yeah,
thing I do want to talk about is that we didn't do it this time, but I want to do it next time. I actually do want to do it next time. Is that Grayson has become sort of a TikTok star, and in his fame, he is able to go live now on TikTok, and this is where
it is true.
we can start to include more of you guys. Please,
Yeah,
listeners, hit us up. We're gonna do like a maybe a little like Q&A at the end of every podcast. We'll let you. He's gonna go live, and we'll be live on the pod. It's like a live pod thing. You can ask some
yeah,
questions, and we'll answer them for you. I feel like this could be a big way for us to connect with people. But and then again, you can just learn more about us, and then learn more about maybe something more specific towards you. You know?
yeah. It gives you guys, anybody watching, if it's two people that actually watch these or listen to these podcasts, if it's 200 people, right? If you like are interested in asking us direct questions, one, comment on underneath the video on um, the Spotify, like however you need to reach out to us. But also, like we said, we're gonna have our social medias attached. Instagram is the best way to reach out to us,
Instagram,
but
yes. At
with
between the
without a
zones.
doubt. But we are going to be making posts on our stories about like when we're going live. I go live on my TikTok. It's we will add it in the description as well. But that way, if you guys want to come in, if you want to sit there and you want to listen and you want to ask questions, we're just going to have it running on the side during the end of our podcast and maybe do a post podcast show on live.
Yeah.
Um, if you ask questions that entertain us, that interest us, and like what we were just talking about, asking questions that people want to answer, we'll answer it. We'll shout you out on the podcast. We'll give you recognition, and then you can find it a week later. You'll also be able to hear it on live, but you can see it online, and you can have that recorded answer.
Yeah. And then again, I mean, you guys are learning, we're learning about you, and we're making
You're making
connections.
connections. Exactly.
And so that probably leads me to the last part of this podcast. This is today's to do. If you take anything from this podcast, what you want to do, make connections.
Yeah.
Connections. I mean, we can't say anything more about it. It's just something that's so important in our industry, you know?
Exactly. So, like we said, we'd be happy to be your connection, but maybe find someone else that you're interested in too. So, like Will was saying, at the end, as soon as this podcast is over, DM someone on Instagram, email someone, ask them
Okay.
about their story. It can be
Get
us, it can
that
be someone
connection.
else. But yeah, are we good?
Yeah, this is between the zones. We are Will and Grayson.
Yeah. Thank you guys. See you
Thanks
next
guys
time.
for watching. See you next time.
Peace.